Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good morning Instagram fam, friends and followers of as-Saafiy. Thank you for getting up with me this morning. Thank you for joining me for another installment of Revert Reflections, and a particular installment in our series this week under the theme, Your Shahadah, your pact with Allah. Don't break your pact with Allah. And beginning yesterday, we kind of transitioned in our conversation about our pact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to respond to, or attempt to respond to, a common refrain. And that is, or a common misunderstanding. And that is that doing the Muslim thing and being Muslim in today's day and age is it's too difficult. It's too daunting a task. We're being asked to do too much. And therefore, it's not realistic to try to keep our covenant with Allah. We have every right to at least consider breaching our covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what we wanted to do beginning yesterday was to respond to that misunderstanding and to demonstrate from the religious text perspective what Islam is saying that it is, and what Islam is saying is true about itself, that the reality is that keeping our covenant with Allah is easier than we think. It's the way that we have perceived Islam and what is expected of us that has made us draw this conclusion, this incorrect, erroneous conclusion. And so we mentioned a few texts yesterday, and I'd like to mention one today that will show us again, keeping our covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is easier than we think. Doing the Muslim thing is easier than we think. And that text comes to us from the collection of Imam Muslim, rahimahullah ta'ala, on the authority of Abi Amr or Abi Amra Sufyan ibn Abdullah, who was a companion of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he came to him and he said, "O Messenger of Allah, provide me with a comprehensive statement regarding Islam, so comprehensive that I won't need to ask anyone about Islam after asking you. O Messenger of Allah, summarize Islam for me. Simplify Islam for me. Give me Islam in a nutshell." And the Prophet responded and he said, "Qul amantu billah thumma istaqim." He said, say, I believe in Allah, and then be upright. Say, I believe in Allah, and then act like it. Act like you believe. Act like a believer. And if you notice in the hadith, the Prophet did not say I believe in Allah, thumma iktamil. He didn't say I believe in Allah, and then be perfect. Don't make any mistakes. Don't fall short. He didn't say that. He said, be upright, act like a believer, do your best to fulfill your covenant. That's what the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Be upright, but not necessarily perfect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not expecting us to be perfect. Allah doesn't expect us to be perfect. And we shouldn't expect perfection from ourselves, nor should we expect perfection from other Muslims. We should not come to Islam and come to the Islamic community expecting that from day one we're going to be angels. Nor should we come to Islam and expect that everybody in the community are angels. That basically no one is ever going to say something to me that I don't appreciate. No one is ever going to make me feel excluded. Nobody's going to ever make me feel discriminated against. Nobody's ever going to make me feel that they do not sympathize with my plight. We shouldn't expect perfection from ourselves after becoming Muslim, but we should strive for perfection. And we shouldn't expect perfection from others. Kullu bani Adam khata. All human beings make mistakes. All human beings fall short. So it's not from human nature to be perfect, and Allah is not expecting perfection from us, but He is expecting that we'll keep our promise. He is expecting that we'll strive for perfection, even if we know we'll never be able to fully achieve it. Now, someone might say, I hear everything that you're saying, I recognize that I should keep my promise with Allah. I should maintain my covenant with Allah. I shouldn't break my pact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hear what you're saying, but I need help with the means. I can understand the theory. I can understand in theory this is how I should behave, but getting myself to behave that way is where my struggle lies. The mind is strong, but the faith and the flesh are weak. I have the will, but I don't have the way. And so, inshallah ta'ala, our next series will focus on providing some of the practical means, the tools, the techniques that we need to be able to fulfill our pact with Allah, to be able to hang on and hang in and continue to do the Muslim thing in these times. Now, before I go, brothers and sisters, I want to say and encourage you that if you feel that the content that we are delivering is useful, it's beneficial, you've benefited from it, it's touched your life, it has given you new perspective, it has stirred the iman in your heart, there are probably other people that we're not reaching, that this content could do the same thing for them. And so I'm humbly requesting that if this content is reaching you and you find it beneficial, that you share it with others, that you share it with a revert in your life or in your community or someone who's crossed your path, and you say, hey, watch these, follow this series because it's truly beneficial. Maybe you don't know a revert. You say, I don't have any reverts in my life. I don't have anyone that I know particularly who will benefit from this. And that's kind of hard for me to believe, but it may be the case. But maybe you know someone in another city, in another state, that does know a revert or could possibly know a revert. Share it with your contacts, share it with them and say, hey, watch this. And if you know somebody who could benefit, share it with them. Our desire is not to reach a status where we become famous. But what we would like is we would like to touch as many lives as possible, to help as many people as possible remain firm, keep their feet firmly grounded on a sirat al-mustaqim, on the straight path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we want to reach as many people as possible, and we need your help in doing that. So please share the content. Please follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube page and encourage others to do so. Share these videos with whoever you know might benefit and encourage them to follow and subscribe. I thank you for the time that you give. I thank you for listening attentively. I thank you for giving us the opportunity to touch your life and the lives of others. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless your family, bless your income, bless your households, your children. Bless you and bless everything connected to you and make you blessed wherever you may be. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh from Team as-Saafiy.